I always think of that fucking Robbie Williams quote where it's quite famous where he's like, oh, it's like watching your favorite pub burn down. If that's the reason.
It's pretty funny though. I don't agree with it, but I haven't heard that saying before.
No, but the thing is like if that's the reason why you're not looking, then you need to get a grip and like.
At least he said favourite pub.
Hi guys and welcome back to another episode of Life Uncut. I'm Laura. What is wrong with you?
I'm Brittany. I've been trying to figure out what's in my eye and I've just realised. I'm like, something's in my eye. I'm pretty sure it's a flake of my croissant. Because it was just all over me and we were shuffling it in before the record and I think I have croissant eye.
Yeah.
Do you want me to come get it out?
What, with your tongue? What are you
It's-
gonna, no, with my tongue. No, maybe I've got maybe
You
it's,
can't get it with those nails. Do you want me to?
no, I think
Finger
maybe,
her eyeball on record.
Brittany, I would finger your eyeball.
No, because I'm wondering now if I've actually got the flake out and the flake left a mark on my eye. You know how sometimes your eye gets scratched and then it feels, I think I've got a croissant wound. Wow, that was crazy.
Croissant debris, it'll get you. Look at you go.
You got to be careful. Croissants are dangerous.
Okay, so guys, if you're just joining us, you will know that we've been on holidays. Clearly, things are not back to normal yet, but we actually can't update you on the holiday because
We haven't had it.
technically we haven't had it. So we're recording this just before we went away so that we can, squeeze an extra day out of it.
This is our last day before holidays.
And this is technically my last holiday before I have a baby and never have a holiday again.
Ever again in your
Ever
life.
in my life.
No, because you actually never will.
Yeah, so that's it. So hopefully I had a great time. I'll tell you all about it on Wednesday.
Can you tell us what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm going. What do you think I'm doing?
Going to the holiday house.
I'm going down to Ulladulla. That's all we do. We were talking about it recently. Matt and I were like, okay, so technically, I mean, we will go for other trips locally, but like technically, once this baby comes, like we're never going to be able to afford to fly anywhere again because like you've got to once your kid
can't.
turns 2, you got to pay for 3 seats for children. So I was like, that's it. We're never going anywhere. We're going to stay.
But maybe you can just leave them at home.
No.
Why not? Why is that such a bad thing, actually?
Okay.
Like,
no,
why can't parents have a week to like recover and leave the kids with the grandparents or something? Is that like shamed?
not everyone has grandparents who
Yeah, but you
are
do.
capable. Ellie is super capable. I wouldn't leave her with the kids for a week. I
Right.
certainly would never leave her with 3 kids for a week.
What
Like
about
I think
me? I could take them. You're like, hell no.
you would call the dog sitter and be like, "Sorry, can someone please mind Laura's children?
I would-
I've got $70 an hour."
I would leave them at home and let Delilah look after them. I'm like, Delilah's got it. She's very mature.
They're like, "Where's Poppy Britt?" You're like, "Oh, she's fine." I'm
Who?
like,
No, who?
She's 2.
Which one? Oh, shit, there's a third.
Nah, anyway, look, we will update you on holiday stuff and everything that's been happening. But like we said, hasn't happened yet. So we don't want to make up stories for you.
I forgot to tell you guys something and I saw it again today because I screenshot it, but it got me giggling.
Was it Thirsty Hamster? Because let me tell you, that's gone off.
It wasn't the thirsty hamster. Did we get any responses from people that have been thirsty hamstering?
No, okay, I've had a few people DM me about the Thirsty Hamster. If you don't know what it is, guys, just go back and listen to the first 10 minutes of the last Ask Uncut we did, or it was truly unhinged, and
It was obvious we hadn't been on holidays yet.
I don't recommend ever trying it at home. A lot of people commented. No one's tried it. I'm yet to find
Not
someone who's
shocked.
actually tried it. Slide into my DMs if you have. If you've had a man just plank on top of the car for the good of the nation.
I just don't. I think it's some. Do you know what I think this is? I don't think it's like a trend or a thing. I think one sicko's done it once and has written about it, and now it's turned into something. Like people aren't doing this.
Let's not call people sickos just because they like to have
Their dick in the car.
adventurous sexcapades. Anyway, what is your update?
Well, I was just going to say it's very small. It's not an update, but I'm on Dancing with the Stars at the moment.
Are you?
As you guys know. Well, sometimes I forget myself because we recorded it so long ago. I'm like, oh shit, that's right. I'm on Dancing with the Stars. But it's so funny. When you go to respond to a story or send it to a friend and you accidentally get it sent to you. I didn't know if I explained that right. You know how you can go to forward someone else's story to a friend.
Yes.
But sometimes you just forward it to the person. And I remember the most prime example is when you put up a photo of Marley as a little kid, Marley May as a little baby, Laura, and someone went to send it to their friend and say something about her looking like a turtle or like, oh, she finally looks cute. Something rude, but they
Yeah.
accidentally sent it to you.
So it was when Marley was 2 years old. I put up a really cute picture of her and somebody replied to the picture, very, very obviously meant to send it to their friend. And she said, "Oh, look, I guess her kid finally got cute." And I was like, She was an odd looking little baby, but she was still cute to me, goddammit.
She was cute to everybody.
I was like, thanks for the the cross-eyed that she had when she first came out was astigmatism. That really she was totally cross-eyed.
But that made her cuter. No, so I had put up some stories from dancing and I had 3 responses in my DMs from the same person. Like they'd responded 3 times and it very evidently wasn't supposed to go to me. The first one said, ew. Just one word, 2 letters, ew. And I was like, oh, that's unusual. Weird. Next one, yuck. And I was like, okay, interesting. A couple of minutes later, who even is she? So somebody messaged me, ew, yuck, who even is she? And I was like, the fact, I get that you're trying to send my story to somebody else and I'm ill, like you don't like me, that's cool. But imagine trying to send the same story to 3 times to a friend to comment. Like that could have been 1 sentence. That could have been 1 sentence and 1 comment and I got it. And I was like, oh, was it that bad?
I still think, honestly, when I see things like that, I'm like, you're a fan. That's a fan. She's doing you a favor. She's engaged with your content. You should be grateful, Britt.
But it was also weird because I did go on a little investigation. She doesn't follow me. So she's obviously, that's why she said, who is she? Obviously. But she's stumbled across my, it's just weird to me when I see that stuff. It makes you wonder how many people are sending that to other people. But I'm like, 3 messages to a friend sending just a random, you don't know her. She's on a TV show. You've sent it to really double down on like, ew, gross, disgusting, vomit in my mouth. Like calm down. I was like,
did I tell you? I think I've told you this one before, but like cut it out if I have, Keish. So Matt, because like obviously Matt does really silly videos. And for like the longest time during COVID, like some of those videos got pretty weird, right? Like Matt would be dressing up in my dresses and doing all weird types of things. Anyway, we went to England when we first started dating and Matt used to live over there. So he's got a really great group of friends over there.
I remember.
Really great group of friends. And I met them all and they're so lovely. And anyway, came back here, COVID hit. He was like, we were doing our funny videos. And one of his friends, actually, it was the wife of one of his very, very good friends, just sent the video to him and was like, oh my God, this is so cringe. I can't believe he would post this. And then he never heard from her again. He wrote back and was like, oh, thanks for that. And then they've never spoken since. It's been 5 years. Like,
so
never
he wrote
spoken.
back and said thanks. That's really shit because it's your private group.
Anyway.
It's an actual friend. I was going to ask you if you replied to the person who said, yuck, ooh, who is she?
I just put a hand up.
It's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
It's me.
Nah,
Nah,
please vote Brittany Hockley.
Yeah, I sent her the vote number. I was like, click the link.
Well, guys, let's get into our vibes and unsubscribes before answering your questions. Brittany, what is your vibe?
My vibe is nothing new, but I'm sure a lot of people haven't heard of it. It is something that my family and my group of friends have been playing for a very long time. It's a board game.
Monopoly.
No. Have you heard of Monopoly? No, I want a vibe. I'm disappointed at how sucked into my phone I can get. And I'm trying to bring back some wholesome interactions with people again because this got me thinking. It was off the back of an article I read about George Clooney and Amal Clooney. And so whenever they have people over to their house, they entertain a lot. There is like a phone basket and you go in and you can't go into their house without putting your phone in. And it's because I guess they get no privacy in their life. They're huge. They want to be able to feel safe to have their conversations knowing that no one has the phone. Anyway, that's not my vibe. But it got me thinking about those interactions. And I'm bringing back, and my sister Sherry and I and Jay, we played a couple of weeks ago when I visited them, but just the board game Articulate. I don't know if you guys haven't played it.
Articulate is great.
It's so good. So we got 2 favorite board games that we've been like playing for years and we've just sort of brought them back, Balderdash and Articulate. But Articulate, if you haven't heard of it, it is so much fun. It's literally just you team up, you've got 30 seconds and you just have to guess. One person describes whatever word it is and the other person has to guess it and you just churn through them. But it is so much fun and it's really fun to play with a group of friends. Like I just think we sometimes needed the reminder to go back and have these wholesome interactions where A, you're actually present and B, you're using your brain. It's like, but so that's you can get it literally anywhere. $25, Big W, any game
Articulate
store.
is so great. When we used to live together, Ness and I, Ness, our video editor, for anyone who is new to the pod, Articulate used to get a very good run in our house. It's
the
great.
best.
Couple of wines, play a game of Articulate.
Sherry and I are banned from playing in our family because
You're so competitive.
No, not that. We know each other. We spent our whole life living together. We shared a room our whole life. We've worked in the same hospital our whole life, lived together. We know each other inside out, that it's just not fair. It's like, no, we finish.
The telepathic communication.
Sometimes we say people think we're cheating. We'll say one word, not even. We haven't even got a syllable out and we've got the answer. And people think we're cheating. I'm like, but we just know each other too well. So we're not allowed to play together anymore.
Do you know what board game's really anticlimactic that I tried to wheel out recently and play with Matt's mum? Scrabble. It's fucking so boring.
It's a bit like 70 plus now.
So
isn't it?
slow moving, isn't it? Anyway, Keish, what's your vibe?
So slow moving. That's because you're slow at spelling.
Unsubscribe to Scrabble.
My vibe this week is for anyone who perhaps was not taught handy little things while they were growing up, whether that came from your parents or your grandparents, and you were just missing, there's a couple of gaps in how to do shit around the house. I have been using the Bunnings Warehouse How To videos extensively. I now feel like I've gone from a novice. So over the weekend, I've
gone from a novice. I'm building my first house now.
I'm now a pro.
Well, I removed wallpaper and I was like, oh, this could be a really big job. I've heard people say it's really challenging, blah, blah, blah. They had like a 2-minute 30 video on everything that I needed and how to remove it all properly and different, like if it's on this surface and if it's on that surface. Anyway, the videos are short, they're concise, they're obviously made by people who know relatively what they're doing, but it's not too complex. I've also watched ones on how to paint, because I've been painting as well, and how to rip up grass and replant grass. So
Keishia is now a DIY queen. I mean, you've always kind of been a DIY queen, but now you're like really erring into DIY pro category.
Now I'm allowed to do it. Yeah. Before I had to hide it from the landlord. But now I'm actually allowed to do things.
It looks great. The room looks great.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I tried very hard. But yeah, they've got some really, really good practical videos. So if there's anything that you're not really sure, here they've got how to clean tile floors, how to install a security camera, how to hang a TV, how to identify and fix drafts. Like they've got this whole video series that are only a couple of minutes long to help you do different things.
She's also like squeezing away into my family. You know how she's got a crush on my dad? I get a message, hey, just got off the phone from your brother. A really great 15-minute chat. I was like, what?
Your brother?
She's like, he's talking me through my reno. I'm like, what?
He's the best. He's a painter. So I asked him, I was like, hey, he replied to, I think his partner Kim replied to a story that my boyfriend put up of me painting. So they, in my opinion, they opened the door to ask for unsolicited advice.
My boyfriend put up a photo that my brother's wife commented on that told my brother that opened up the window for
The next thing I was having a 25-minute conversation with Dane. It was very helpful. He helped me with what types of paints for skirting boards. It was very good advice. Maybe he could start a series.
Can I just say we've gone from the vibe being Bunnings related to being just called Dane. Call Dane for help.
So in the show notes, I will put Dane's phone number.
We absolutely will not.
But no, my actual vibe is the Bunnings Warehouse How To video series.
That's cool.
I love this because I honestly do believe that if you, apart from like surgery or something really high level, go to school for that. But for most things in life, there are such thorough tutorials on how to get started, especially for things in like business, not just handy things. But there's so much you can find online that can like step by step help you through all the stuff that you think you can't do. And then you get this little sense of like, oh, look at me.
The number of times I've got 3/4 of a way through a business course online and I just get bored. I've never finished it, but I've restarted the same one so many times and I'm like, oh, well, boring. What are all these numbers?
All right. Well, look, guys, my recommendation, it is a drama/biopic. It's called Scoop. It came out in 2024 and it's all about the behind the scenes story of how the women at BBC were the ones who brought that interview, that very famous interview of Prince Andrew in 2019 where he spoke about not being able to sweat and everything else, all of the links to Jeffrey Epstein off the back of a pat picture that was taken in the park of the two of them together. I thought it was a really fascinating story. I had no idea that it was the women of BBC who were the ones who absolutely brought that to the forefront, who were the ones who curated the relationship with the royal family and also with the royal family's PR relations in order to bring that to being a possibility. It doesn't have great ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. And I saw that and I think it's like 70 something on Rotten Tomatoes. Went into it thinking and expecting that it wasn't going to be very good as a result of this. But I think if you're interested in media or you're interested in that whole story and how it unfolded, for me, I found it utterly fascinating. I watched it with my mother-in-law, who's a total royalist. And the thing about it is I honestly could not believe is that Prince Andrew did that interview and the royal family were all privy to that interview and they thought the interview was well done. Their perception of that interview was that actually, you know what? He nailed that. And he did a really great job at least educating the public on his version of events. And as we know, it was the most damning PR interview that he could have ever done. And he was stripped of all his royal titles and the flow-on effect from that. But it kind of raises the questions, would the punishment been as severe had he never done that interview? Because if he hadn't done that interview and had just stayed quiet, as he had done up until that point, he potentially would still have all his royal titles, but the backlash from it was just so incredibly severe. So it's called Scoop. It's on Netflix now. And yeah, it's about an hour and 20 minutes and I really thoroughly enjoyed it.
This is the one that has Gillian Anderson and Billie Piper in it. I've seen it. I absolutely loved this film.
It was really good.
So good.
Billie Piper, unrelated.
She's amazing.
She's a bit of an underdog. People don't give her enough credit, I reckon. What was her band she was in?
I can't remember. She was in Secret Diary of a Call Girl too.
Yeah, but she was a singer. She was a singer before she was an actress, and now she's actually a really good actress. Anyway, that sounds great, Laura.
Yeah. Okay. Go watch it. Let's get into your questions.
Okay. Question number 1. To look or not to look during birth?
That is the question.
For a bit of background, on Mother's Day, my entire family had a bit of a heated argument about a certain topic, and I want your opinion on it. The disagreement was about whether the father should have a peep at their child being born during active birth. My opinion is that the father should at least have a quick glance at what the woman has to go through to have a child. I really don't want to sound insensitive, as I know some people can be grossed out. I'm also a nurse, so I don't know if that impacts my opinion, as I don't get turned off by these things. I also understand there are certain circumstances where this would not be encouraged by midwives or doctors, but in best case scenario, with a healthy vaginal birth, I'd love to hear what you all have to say.
I remember when Matt didn't want to cut the umbilical cord. Matt's really he's really squeamish. He doesn't do well with blood. He's not the best person to have by your side during a birthing experience. But, you know, like he makes up for it in other ways. But he absolutely did.
By how he nearly missed it getting the chicken sandwich?
No, usually by how he makes like funny content reels when I'm in active labor about things you shouldn't say when your wife's in labor, but I'm actually legitimately
You're like,
in
hey,
labor.
Matt, things you shouldn't do when I'm in labor is make a video.
So Marley, this happened with both babies. They're like out of me, connected by the umbilical cord, like still there. And like everyone's like, baby. And then the obstetrician hands him the scissors to cut. It's like a clamp and then scissors to cut the umbilical cord. Matt was like, like not even looking and like just waving scissors around. I was like, dude,
just
if I push this kid out of my hoo-ha, you can at least look at it to cut the umbilical cord and not accidentally stab it. Anyway, he cut the umbilical cord and it was, I'm not kidding you, about 15 centimeters long because he was just so squirmish. The obstetrician just looked at him and
like,
recut it straight away. Like looked at him like, what the fuck was that? Recut it. Look. My opinion, yes, I think that they should get over it. Get the fuck over it. However, I understand that some people might then pass out. They might then make it about themselves. I think you've just got to...
I don't think passing out's making it about yourself. Like, if you're unconscious, I think
if a dude passes...
You're like, you're so selfish. He's like convulsing on the ground.
That's what happened with
It's
Ash.
cardiac arrest and you're like, you would have a heart attack.
Matt's podcast partner on Two Doting Dads, Ash, fainted during the birth of his first kid.
I think a lot of people would. Dude, my ex fainted when I got a splinter.
Oh, get
I've never
life.
seen... it's not their fault. Obviously, he's got an aversion of blood. But like, I got these big splinter ones. And I was like, oh, can you get this splinter out? I'll never forget it. Talk about getting the ick. I was like, can you get this splinter out? And he looked at it and it wasn't even a splinter. It was like a big chunk of wood in my finger. And then he just looked up at me and I was like, you all right? And then his eyes just rolled back and he just fainted every time he saw blood. So there was if I was still with him, which I'm obviously not, there's no way somebody like that could watch a birth. Like you just couldn't.
I think it is, obviously I make lots of jokes. It is definitely dependent on the person and what they can, if medically you can't stomach it and you're going to pass out and then it's going to be more of an inconvenience, like obviously I understand that there are parameters to it, but I do not like it when men use it as an excuse because they don't want to take on the responsibility of looking. And I always think of that fucking Robbie Williams quote where it's quite famous where he's like, oh, it's like watching your favorite pub burn down. If that's the reason.
It's funny though. I don't agree with it, but I haven't heard that saying before.
Haven't you? Oh.
But it is funny. It's like watching, it's like my safe place.
No, but the thing is like, if that's the reason why you're not looking, then you need to get a grip and like.
At least he said favorite pup.
Yeah, because there are many.
I love Roddy Woo.
Imagine
I
if
love
it's-
him too.
No
I
way.
worked
he's
at his
so
concert
funny.
once. I was security. And I'm not even
The
lying.
jobs that Britt has had.
Yeah, mate. I've got a
I need a
big track record.
timeline.
I think it's I mean those types of tropes and the jokes, like, look, you can laugh about it, but it is deeply entrenched in misogyny. As a woman, you don't get the opportunity to not be affected by childbirth or have the luxury to not look, not feel, not anything. Whether it's coming out the sunroof or you're having a vaginal birth, like that's affecting you in ways that are beyond your control that you have to look at whether you're squirmish or not. And it's like men get to have the option to choose because they might feel uncomfortable or it might change their opinion. Or
Yeah, guess what? My vagina is uncomfortable.
yeah, I just don't have a lot of sympathy. And even when, you know, we make jokes about partners passing out or whatnot, I still don't have a lot of sympathy. I'm like,
I do.
kick them to the side, continue on with birth. They're making it about them.
I do, only because I worked in a hospital so long. I've seen so many family members pass out over different things. Like some people can't stomach stuff, and I get it. And the reason, I mean, I want to say, yes, everybody should be having a look and you should be there and supporting it if you can. I'm talking about people that are extreme, like not people that just don't want to see their pub get ripped apart. But I also think the people that say it'll ruin it for me, like I don't want to remember it like that. I won't ever
disgusting.
be able to look at the same. Guess what? It's not the same. A watermelon just came out of it. Like it's changed. We've changed. I hate that kind of stuff. But I just think, and you know your partner. This is what it comes down to. You know your partner. If they're not going to faint over, like if they're not blood fainters, then yes, they can have a fucking look. They can be there with you and support you.
But on that, let's unpack that for 1 second. When you say it's changed, you've just birthed a watermelon, it's not the same. Absolutely. But then we're inferring that a pre-virginal, perfect, unspoilt vagina is like the preferred version. And like, yes, it might be changed. Yes, there might be things that don't go back to exactly the way. But like, let me tell you, you can have vaginal births and
go
still be able to, you know, have fantastic sex and not be able to tell the difference.
No,
Like,
but I'm saying it's their mind.
and yes, exactly. And that's the
Yeah.
problem is that there's this like psychology that once a woman's had a baby that like it's all, oh, they've destroyed themselves. Yeah, fucking haven't. And it's
also-
just, I hate that it adds to that sort of stigma around it for women.
Yeah, but they're like freaking weirdos that are like, oh, I don't want to watch you breastfeed because I can't look at a breast the same. Like they should be sexy, not a way of life. And I know that they're a minority, like that is not as common, but they exist. Like those people exist. So I don't know. I don't think, you know your partner. At the end of the day, whilst you might like them to be down there, you can't force them down there. I think it's a conversation you need to have before you go into birth. Like, hey, how do you feel? Do you want to have a look? It would be really cool. I would like you to see that moment. And if you think that they're doing it for the right reason, like they're very vomity, fainty, lightheaded, don't force them. But if you think they're just doing it because they're like, can't look at it the same, then fuck that.
Yeah, and do you know
grab
what?
their hair and you push that down there.
I'll
get
birth two at some
you
point.
get that head down there. You get it in there.
Do you know what I actually find really reassuring about this though? And this is very subjective. It's only within my own sort of like friendship network and people that I've spoken to. I do think that often men have a perception of how they think it's going to be, and they might even have written their own sort of version of narrative of like what childbirth's going to be. And I don't want to go down there. I don't want to look. I would say 99.9% of dads that I know that I've spoken to who have had a look have been like, wow, that was fucking amazing. What
Yeah.
an absolute miracle. Like that was a really cool thing. And the dads that I'm thinking of in particular are probably people who I would have thought would have been a bit more like, oh, my pub burnt down. But really, they were the one that was like, hey, can I send you the birth video? And I was like, maybe check with my
Your
best
wife.
friend first before you send me it.
Ben, I'd be
Because
interested.
he was so excited, you know?
I'm interested to see how Ben would go because he isn't actually very good with blood. I haven't seen him faint, but I've seen him like with needles and injections. I've seen him go very pale. Like he'll say I'm not great with it, which is weird. Like I don't know the psychology behind it because he said he can get tattooed all day. Like it's not the needle and the pain, but it's something, the psychology to do with like maybe you're withdrawing blood or it's like a placenta injection or whatever. But I'll be interested. I'm not convinced he'll be down there, but we'll see.
All right, question number 2. How do I tell my husband I've been adding tomatoes to his sorry, this is so stupid, to his dishes? Hear me out though, you'll know why. My husband told me when we met that he is allergic to tomatoes, as in he gets IBS from it and he ends up on the toilet. For 6 years, I have not cooked with tomatoes. Can you imagine how hard that is? No tomato in any dishes. It has been hell. But about 4 weeks ago, I got ballsy and I started adding tomatoes to things. Like
That is ballsy if someone's allergic.
like to the bolognese. Lol, she writes. I even blended it so he wouldn't see it. Oh my God, it tasted amazing. God, I'd missed tomatoes. It had been so long. Anyways, he didn't run to the toilet afterwards. And he said that was my best bolognese yet. Obviously, because it had fucking tomatoes in it. So the last 4 weeks, I have been adding tomatoes to our dinners and hiding it. And then he has been completely fine. So my issue is this. How do I tell him that he's not allergic to tomatoes? Or do I just never tell him? Help. He will soon be so mad if he finds out what I have done to him. Just don't tell him.
First of all, I think we need to put a disclaimer in. If your partner's allergic to something or things they are, don't like secretly try and test it. We don't advise that. Why haven't you just cooked your meals with tomato for 6 years? 6 years is a long time to like go without something.
No, because then you got to cook 2 separate meals. Like often if you're the one who's cooking, you'll just create one dish that is suitable for everyone.
Do you know what I think has happened? I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he probably did have reactions to tomatoes. Tomatoes are like a proper IBS trigger. They are in the FODMAP group because of their high fructose, and a lot of people have issues with tomatoes. But you can outgrow that. So if he might have had that issue, not consumed it for the last 6 years, and maybe it's changed and he's not having the reactions the same way. Like I don't think he's lied to you about it. I'd be bringing it up. I'd tell him, because you can't go the next 20 years of your marriage secretly like dosing his food with tomato.
I think that it's important to distinguish, and now I'm going to take it real sciencey and probably more seriously than I should. There's a difference between an allergy and an intolerance,
yes,
right?
You've got IBS.
Very different. And I think that sometimes we conflate the two, and that's what makes people annoyed. There's so many people out there who are like, I'm allergic to dairy, I'm allergic to wheat, I'm allergic to gluten. Unless you are celiac or unless you have like a very severe reaction where you're anaphylactic and end up in hospital, you are not allergic. You have an intolerance, which means that you can have small amounts of something. The more you have of it, the more that there is a likelihood that you'll have an adverse reaction. And for me specifically, I have an intolerance to MSG. Like I'm very sensitive to MSG, and I have ended up in hospital because I have had an anaphylactic reaction to it. However, if I have small amounts, I'm okay. So if someone was microdosing my
I love
food,
that you're still in hospital with it, but you're like, not going to stop. Need the MSG.
I really love Asian food. It's my favorite cuisine. No, but the thing is like I can have small amounts and I can cope fine. Yeah. My worry for you in this situation is that your partner has an intolerance to tomatoes. And yes, you might be microdosing him, but the poor guy's going to wake up in a few weeks' time, be shitting the bed because you didn't listen to him and he's just used the wrong terminology. So I do think that that's a very, very plausible situation that's going to occur, and like he's going to start having these reactions and not know why. So I don't think it's really like necessarily an aha moment. I got you.
You liar.
Totally. Cheater. But I do think we throw around the terms too willy-nilly these days, and people are too quick to be like, I can't eat that because, you know, I'm allergic to it. And it's like, oh, you might get the runs for 4 hours, you're fine. You know, you're not going to die.
I think sometimes people say it because it's easier to say to someone. So like if someone says, hey, like, what are your dietary requirements? Sometimes, so for me, because I have such painful reactions with my IBS to garlic now, it's easier for me to sometimes say to someone, oh, no garlic, I'm allergic. Like sometimes I'll throw the term away because it's just easier to say, like, yes, I have a severe reaction. Am I going to die from it? No, but it's going to make me extremely uncomfortable for a long time.
I think though, I wonder how restaurants respond to this. I'd be so interested if you're a cook or a chef or working in a restaurant, because when someone says, you know, I'm allergic to shellfish, the way that they have to prepare food is so different to just, you know, oh, I'm intolerant to dairy. Like they're totally different ways in which they have to prep a kitchen. So when everyone's like, oh, I'm allergic to this, I'm allergic to this, it just like just becomes a bit of a pain in the ass.
I would never do it at a restaurant because that's when I eat it.
Yeah, Britt goes to an Italian restaurant. She's like, I'm allergic to garlic.
I go to a garlic restaurant and I'm like, no garlic, please.
I reckon I am. I talked about this before. Yeah. I have like the most severe reaction. I'm fine, digestively fine. I just fucking stink after garlic. Stink like so bad.
We know.
But like it's like outrageous. Like for days.
We know. We see you every day.
Yeah, I know.
No.
I love you guys. Even
I'm
Matt,
joking.
even from last night, Matt was like, "Did you eat garlic today?" I was like, "No, I haven't even touched it."
It's been
He's
a
like-
week.
He's like, "Did you look at garlic today?" Like, you
I
stink.
secretly microdosed Ben's food. So Ben detests mushrooms. He will not eat them, which is fine. Like, I don't care for them. I cannot have them in my life. He doesn't like the texture mainly. But I really like, one of my favorite foods to eat out for an entree is arancini. And I really wanted to get this arancini and I wanted to share it with him, but it was mushroom and like a parmesan or something. Anyway, I just lied to him and told him it was cheese. He didn't look at the menu. I just ordered it. And he ate it and loved it. And then in my head, I was like, maybe you don't dislike mushrooms. So maybe I'm going to start microdosing his food with mushrooms.
But you did say that you think it's a texture thing. Because a lot of people have aversions.
bit of A, bit of B.
Yeah. A lot of people who have aversions to food, it's actually got nothing to do with the flavor. It's got to do with
Texture.
the feeling and the texture of that food. So like, yeah, I mean, that's how you get kids around trying things that they think they don't like. Is like, they're like, I hate mushrooms. You're like, cool, you blend them, put them in a soup, and then you figure out actually they're fine.
I want to back this woman and support her. I once had a boyfriend who was a piece of shit. He used to lie about cheating on me all the time. And he also, turns out, lied that he had a lactose intolerance. We were together for like, I don't know, 6 months or something, maybe a bit longer. But he used to claim that he was completely lactose intolerant. And I used to use butter to cook. And I just kind of snuck it in at one point. He never had a problem.
When she thought she could get away with killing him, she's like, I'm going to put the butter in.
It was when you found out he was cheating on you, wasn't it?
I was
You're
like, you lie about everything.
you chuck a stick of Lurpak in there and off you go.
Let's see you go cheat on me now. But no, he was always fine. And so I was like, I knew that he made this up for drama. Like, I knew he just thought it added to his personality.
I really want to just say this because I
We're
know
not
someone
encouraging it.
is going to come for us in the reviews or the comments or
Wait,
the
JK.
DMs. Lifers, please do not follow this woman's advice. Do not, if your partner has told you or someone you're dating has told you that they're allergic, just believe them because the negative outcome that could happen is way worse than you being right in this instance.
You
okay?
can go and do, guys, you can do an allergy test. Go and do it properly. It's like you don't have to, it's not one extreme or the other. You don't have to never eat something again or try to kill them with microdosing. Like you can go and get tested.
Have we
It's
answered whether
expensive.
she should tell her husband?
I
No.
said tell him.
Yeah, we haven't actually answered the question.
I think you need to tell him. I think, but make it a mistake. Be like, oh my God, I blanked and put tomato in the bolognese last night.
I put passata in that. I had no idea that passata was made from tomatoes. I have a much more important question for you. I would love to know how the fuck you were making bolognese without tomatoes in the first
That
place.
sounds like the worst bolognese. No wonder he loved this one.
No, like what was it? Because bolognese is a tomato sauce.
That's what I don't get.
Wow. Okay. I raise your question with another question.
Okay, this definitely needs to be an aftermath. Tell us how you cooked your bolognese. Next question. Not inviting mum's new boyfriend to my wedding. I'm getting married next year. Yay!
Yay!
But I have a bit of a dilemma. My parents split a few years ago, and since then, my mum has had a string of short-term boyfriends.
Go Queen.
She's now dating someone new and will likely want to bring him to the wedding, as she will want to parade her new man to the rest of the family. That sounds a bit scathing, doesn't it? That sounds like there's a bit of something going on between the mother and daughter. Here's the issue. I don't like him. Fair. That's a pretty blatant issue. It's very likely they're not even going to be together by then anyway. Our wedding is very small and intimate, and I really don't want this random in the photos, especially someone who might not be around long term. Am I being unreasonable if I don't want to invite him or whoever she's dating at the time? Or is it okay to gently set that boundary? I would love to hear your thoughts.
I think we've answered this question in many variations
Yeah.
over the years. It's a really tricky one because, of course, it's going to come with it drama. But in the same instance, you don't have to have anyone at your wedding that you don't want there. Does that mean that your mum is going to react in a great way? Who knows? Like, I don't know what type of person your mum is. I don't know how she responds to feedback. I don't know what scene she will cause. She might say, of course, honey, like whatever you want, it's your day. It's not my day and I'm not going to make it about me. She may also be a mother of the generation that makes everything about her. So like it's really hard for us to know exactly how this is going to impact you.
I am getting that from what she said, though, even the way she said
Parade her new man.
the term parade, and we've spoken about like how much a word can change the structure or the meaning or the feeling of a sentence. But the word parade, I'm getting the impression there's a bit of disdain there. You feel like she will want to make it about her.
Totally, which, you know, in your mum's defense, your mum would categorize that as I'm just happy and living my best life and I'm proud, and you see that as me parading. I do think that in this instance, especially if the divorce is kind of recent or there's some dramas there, obviously your dad's going to be there. Maybe that was her husband. I don't know. I don't know what the relationship setup was. But I do think you can say like, Mum, I really just want immediate family. I don't know your partner that well, and I really want it to be about us and having special time together, not so much it being about the relationships or about, you. I just don't want you to be having to spend time with him when I want you to spend time with me and be a big part of my wedding. That could be a way around it. I think that there is an uncomfortable conversation that's going to happen here when you don't invite him. However, I don't think that you're out of your rights by not inviting him. I think that you're totally within your rights to say that you don't want him to be there.
I agree. It gets tricky when it's someone so immediate to you. So like if it's like an auntie or an uncle or a cousin or whatever, I feel like it's easier. When it's your mum, it's different. And I think it might be different. You say it's like next year, so it might be another year's time. If he's still around by then, it's tricky because that is classified as
a long-term
relationship that she deems as, I guess, serious because that's, well over 12 months. I don't know how new is and I don't know how far away the wedding is. So it gets trickier. I would maybe try and wait it out a little bit and see how the relationship goes. Like, do you have a few more months to see? You'll get the impression of if that relationship is probably going to last or not. And you said maybe it won't. You did also say, or maybe she'll be with someone else by then. That's different. If she's just met someone, absolutely. Like, you're like, sorry, like, it's family only. I don't know him. He's been around for 10 minutes. Like, I think that that's okay. It's only tricky because it's another year away. I'm getting some underlying issues there and I don't feel like it's going to go down well, that conversation. That doesn't mean you can't have it and you're not entitled to bring that up. Like, plenty of people bring those conversations up and they're tough. Like, I had to bring those conversations up with people in my extended family over my wedding. And that was hard. Like, I couldn't imagine if I had to have that conversation with my mum or my dad.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head, Britt. It's not, when she says parade her new man around, if they've been together for more than a year and a half, let's say as an estimate, by the time the wedding rolls around, it's not really her new man, is it? It's
or
just
parading.
It's just her partner. So I can understand why when that date rolls around, that will be something that will be a real wedge. Like I said, it's really going to depend on the personality of your parents. And I think we all have a bit of I think most of us can kind of look at our mums or look at our dads and at the age that we are now have a gauge as to how they're going to react based on the way that they have reacted in past situations because, parents don't just spontaneously behave differently, I don't think, surprise us with this like newfound sense of grace or self-awareness. They usually are pretty set in their pattern behavior. And so I do think that you probably know how your mum's going to react, hence why you've written this in because you know it's going to cause a drama, you know it's going to be a big deal, and you want to know if you're the problem in causing that big deal. That's probably the bigger question here. And it really just comes down to whether or not, like, what's going to be the biggest problem? Is having some guy there that will be in a few photos going to cause you more distress than the potential family fallout or drama that might happen by not inviting him? And that's for you to weigh up.
Also, because if it is, it's more than that. You don't like him. It's hard.
Yeah.
You flat out don't like him, right? I don't want someone at my wedding that I don't like either. But if it's more around the photos, we spoke about this in the last couple of weeks on an Ask Uncut, you just do photos without him as well. Hey guys, immediate family only now, and then you always have the best of both worlds.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree. All right, last question. It's a bit of a long one, but Britt, you got some skin in the game with this one. Who moves for long distance love? I'm 20.
Spoiler, I wrote this in.
I'm 25 now. Yeah, Britt.
All right. No, that would be me. That would be me. Hey guys, I'm 22.
I'm 25. I met the man of my dreams during a 2-week Kentucky tour. We clicked the moment we met.
I do.
He genuinely is everything I've ever wanted and more, except he lives in Canada and I'm Australian. I have spent literally my entire life focusing on my academics, sacrificing every family event imaginable to do this. I'm now a junior doctor with an immaculate reputation and planning to specialize in anesthetics, which is very competitive. I don't have a medical license in Canada. To get one, it would be 2 exams costing $5,000, assuming that is that I pass the first time. Then I don't think I'd have much of a chance getting into anesthetics in a foreign country. He has spent 10 years working his way up the hierarchy of a jewelry store company where he is now the top manager. He's moved twice to open new stores for them. Apparently, there is very few jewelry suppliers for the stores, like the wholesales, I assume, in Canada, and his dad owns one of them. And this guy plans to work for his dad eventually. This work opportunity for him sounds like it is potentially a multi-million-dollar opportunity. So it's going to be incredibly difficult for either of us to move. It feels like one of us will take a massive step back in our careers that we will never overcome. What should I do? Do we need to give up now? We are both on the same page that we've never had a connection like this before, and I truly think he could be my penguin. We've been spending hours on the phone every day since we met, and we want to make it work, but how? I don't know how to ask for one of us to make the ultimate sacrifice when we are both so career driven. Who should sacrifice their career to move for long distance love?
This is so hard, but also not hard.
Britt's like, I can't even relate.
No, I mean, this is my entire life.
Yeah, I know.
I read this and I just felt everything that you're feeling and I know how it feels. But what I do want to say is, for me, this one's a little bit more obvious. There is not one part of me that thinks you should give up your career to go and move and be with him. And I say that because not all careers are equal. And this is because if you get onto the anesthetics program, which you have studied for, it's like another 8 years of trying to study, do your exams. That's if you get on straight away, do your residencies, become a consultant. Like, that is your whole life you've dedicated. And you've even said that. You've said, I've dedicated my whole life. You've looked into going, so you are willing to. But if it's going to be detrimental to your career at this point, I would be looking for a different option. Now, I don't want to diminish this guy's career by any means, but from the information you've given me, I just think he has more leniency to come here for a little while. If it's a family business, I'm sure he can talk to his dad in some capacity and say, hey, I could have met the love of my life. Like, she could be the one. You guys need to spend some time together and figure out if it's even a thing, because like we all know a month. Look, I married the guy I met for 3 days. I get that. But that very well could have gone down the gurgler and not been something. Like, you do have to put in the time to try and see if it is it. I would be going down the track of trying to see if he can make his move to Australia work, or if not, if he can just travel in between a little bit more, because you can't travel. Anyone that knows what it's like when you are at the stages you are of your study and a doctor, you don't get time to just duck over every couple of weeks to Canada. It doesn't look like that. You barely get a fucking day off. So I would be saying, can he work around it? Does he have any leniency with his dad's, like, it's his family's business? Maybe he can come back in a couple of years and you can move back. I tried to go and work in Canada, my sister and I, and to get the medical license. Some countries you just go over, you pay the fee and you can start working, right? You'd think medicine is medicine wherever in the world. Canada's laws are so hard. Like, there's so many exams you sit. It's so expensive that we ended up just going and doing nothing. My sister was a bellboy. Like, we just said, hey, too hard basket, we're just going to work. So I totally get it. But I don't want to say give up on the relationship either if you do think it is it. But I would be so upset for you if you gave up all your hard work to get to this position now without 100% knowing if this is your person.
I think I disagree with you slightly in this, because when you say not all careers are built the same, I think what you're saying is that then there's a hierarchy in terms of importance, and I don't think
I don't mean importance. I mean with your ability to travel. Like, some careers can travel, hers cannot.
Totally,
right,
but it depends on what the career is that he has and the opportunity he has in where he's worked. He's also spent 10 years working his way up the hierarchy of this jewelry store company where he is now their top manager. That's important to him.
Of
and
course.
That's something that is of a priority to him that he's communicating, and it's something that he has spent a decade being ambitious and working towards. I think it's unfair to expect that he would give that up just because his is not in a medical field and yours is. Absolutely, some have the flexibility to travel. I don't think, by the sounds of the way that this question was framed, that this man works for his dad. He works in a company that his dad owns one of the businesses of, with the intention that in the future he will work in his dad's company. But you also said he spent 10 years of his life working his way up the hierarchy of a jewelry store company where he's now their top manager. I understand why he doesn't want to make that sacrifice either. And I guess my feeling towards this is, I wouldn't be in a relationship with someone where neither of us are willing to sacrifice, because that's the thing that you have to probably get to the bottom of. If you can't and you won't and you're not able to, and he's also saying he can't and he won't and he's not able to, regardless of whether you think he's able to, regardless of whether you think he should be the one to move, if he's not willing to make those sacrifices or doesn't, isn't able to because his career is something that's so important to him, then I kind of am curious as to why you would put all of the time and energy into it. I know, like Britt, when we've had these conversations about it being about you, like your career is different. If there's going to be someone who's going to move, it would be you. Of course, it would come with sacrifices, but you would still be able to do a lot of the things that we do here from overseas. I don't know if this is the same situation. And I know that you've said that it's going to cost $5,000 and there's all of these caveats. I do think that very, very big and deep chats should be had. It's great to spend, so much time on the phone talking, but figuring out like if it's a possibility between the two of you, because I don't think it's fair for any one of us to sit here and say who should sacrifice their career to move long distance. Because I don't think it's just about career. It's sacrificing your family. It's sacrificing your stability. It's sacrificing your friendship groups. It's sacrificing living in a completely different country. And the thing is that in order for this relationship to work, one person has to be willing to make that sacrifice. And it sounds like at the moment, neither of you are. So I don't know whether it is worth the emotional investment, but that's just how I would rather have those conversations up front and figure out whether it's a possibility, because you've made it really clear in your question that that's just simply not a possibility for you. So you're expecting a lot of him.
The thing is, every relationship, long distance or not, every single relationship has sacrifice. There's
Totally.
no such thing as a relationship without sacrifice. In the day-to-day, in the parenting, with work, with moves, with everything. There's definitely more sacrifice from somebody in a long distance relationship, without doubt. And one of you does have to be okay to do it. I just don't think in this situation, and I mean, we only know what you've told us. I don't think in this situation it is the right thing for you to do, to go now, unless you know that it is something solid and
Totally.
real. Because if you go there and you sit the exams, you spend $10,000 to $15,000 if you pass them, and then you start in a new country, your medical training, then something goes south and he says, you know what, not for me. You're stuck on a program in another country with people you don't know. I'd be trying to spend some more time together, whether he can come to you in the interim for a holiday. You definitely need to spend more time than 2 weeks on Kentucky, because that's
Totally.
I get why there's chemistry after 2 weeks in Kentucky. Like I've been there, I get it. But I would be then having those conversations. Yes, it sounds like you can go. It's not easy. You do have to sit exams and it is a lot of money. I would be asking him to pay half of that as well. Everything's half. Like if you're going to make that sacrifice. But I would also be having bigger conversations about what it would look like for both of you to do it. So write down and chat about what it looks like for you to do it, what has to happen, what has to be in place, what wheels are in motion, what sacrifice there is, will it put your career back. Do the same for him. Maybe, and this is what Ben and I talk about, but maybe there's an opportunity for both. Maybe in some world he can come here now for a couple of years, and then you can say, I will do everything I can to get on the Canadian registrar program. Because when you're a fellow or a registrar in medicine, you get to go to, you can apply to any country to try and get on their program. So maybe you're saying, hey, let's do this now, and then when I'm like more locked in my career, we can go over there, and then maybe you can be a doctor in Canada. But at the end of the day, if you both come and say, well, I'm not moving and I'm not moving, you either are going to be in a relationship that has no end date, which is no point. If you're not seeing each other and you're not working towards a future, it's okay if you're in long distance, but you're working towards the same thing. But if you guys can't get on the page of what you're even working towards, I would probably be cutting my losses.
If you were willing to do that, then the cost of doing that is absolute parity. Like he needs to show the commitment to the sacrifices that are being made as well. I think that when you are doing and navigating a long distance relationship like this, look, go over there, have a holiday. He can come here for a holiday. See if there's actually some sort of stability and reality to it when you're not on Kentucky. Is that even going to be like necessarily enough? Like, going on a 2-week trip. I mean, it was for you, Britt. Is that going to be the case for everyone? I don't know.
Some people live with their partner for 5 years and it's not enough. Like
Totally.
you don't know.
You don't know. But I think that part of it's worth a try. My only thing though is when you're in a long distance relationship like this, big conversations have to happen earlier. And the sooner that you can have those big conversations where maybe the answers aren't the answers you want to hear, but you need to hear them in order to progress or make decisions, I think don't shy away from this conversation you're having with us. Have it with him.
Yeah.
Like, you can have that conversation with him. It's not overbearing. It's not too much, because you're both trying to figure out how it could be possible for your life to work. And if he turns around and says, I'd love you to come here for a holiday, but I want you to know there's absolutely no possibility that I'm ever going to move to Australia or could ever move to Australia, well, then you know who's going to have to make the sacrifice. But I don't think it's fair to assume that he would be the person to do that when he's saying he's spent a decade of his life working towards something that's clearly really important to him.
You know, with Ben and I, we had that conversation both ways, where I said, what will it look like if I come to you? And what does it look like if you come to him? He looked into coming here, but you can't just come. There's X amount of teams that sign positions for 3 years and they're in contracts. And if there's not a spot for you, there's not a spot for you.
Yeah.
So when I say not all careers are created equal, that's what I mean. No one's more important in their career. Like, you can't say that. But some careers physically are not malleable enough to be able to pick up and take somewhere else. The only other thing I want to say, and it's like contradictory to everything that I did, I know, but you don't know if he's the man of your dreams after a 2-week Kentucky. And he very well could be, but it's really easy to get caught up in the chemistry and the love and
fantasy,
the excitement. Yeah. And I know you've been speaking every day for an hour, but they are the moments where you are getting the best of somebody. And so I don't want you to get caught up. He might have everything you need on paper, but you just won't know until you spend a bit more time with him. So, and you know, I said the same thing about Ben. I said on paper, he's like everything I want. He ticks every box. But I didn't even know if I wanted to date him until I spent 5 weeks living with him. I went and spent 5 weeks. And then I was like, okay, on paper is translating to who he's showing me. But I just would be very careful in getting caught up in those feelings this early on.
Yeah, I agree.
I have a very specific to you bit of advice, and from what I'm gathering, it sounds to me as though you're not yet on the scheme program of anaesthetics, which is the program that you go on to. It's usually about 4 to 5 years where you specialise and then you become an anaesthetist, right? And you've said it's a lot harder to get onto the program in another country, and that's mostly because you don't have relationships with the people there. I would actually go right now to your supervisor of training or whoever looks after that particular part of the hospital that you're working at. I would have a conversation with them and just float the idea of like, do you have any good relationships with anyone in Canada of the place that you actually do want to move to be with this person, and just suss out what their medical programs are like. Because yes, it will mean that you basically will have to take a 1 to maybe 2 year step back, because you're going to have to sit these exams, rebuild those relationships in another country. But Canada has fantastic medicine. It's not like it would be a detrimental move for your career long term to be training over there. And you could get onto a program over there and you could be as happy as Larry. I know people who have gone over and done fellowships over in Canada. The medicine is fantastic. And, you know, maybe that could be something that you could actually look into. I think it would be better for you to make that decision now before you're on the program, before you're locked in to 4 years here in Australia.
The only thing is, Keish, with that is it's the same thing Britt said. You're then locked into a program there. If the relationship doesn't work out, you're stuck there with no family, no friends, no support, no boyfriend, no nothing. And you're the one who made the sacrifice.
But you could love the medicine there. Like, you actually could. That's also a possibility. I think you would have to make that move knowing that you wouldn't be resentful if you did end up on a program there and things didn't work out. It's hard, but
I
it's
just
possible.
don't think she should move. I just don't think she should. Even like, I know you just said, Keish, you know, it might be a step back of a couple of years. That's fucking huge when you've spent 12 years as a woman. And I say as a woman because 2 years as a woman step back is huge if you have a biological clock and you want to have kids. And like another 2 years onto like 8 to 12 years of training is so big. I just would be thinking very carefully before I made any move, and I would be seeing if he can come here for a holiday first. Let him come here and spend some time together and make your decision. Unless you have holidays coming up, but one of you needs to commit to spending some time together. But it's fucking hard, man. I feel sorry for you. Falling in love with someone on the other side of the world, don't recommend. I know I got a husband on there. Best thing to happen to me, but it's not been easy. Like, it has not been easy.
Well, guys, that is it from us. If you have a question for Ask Uncut, slide on into the DMs at Life Uncut Podcast. You can also join the Facebook group, the discussion group, which is Life Uncut Discussion Group. Super creative name for that one. Or you can watch us on
Don't slam
YouTube.
our discussion group.
Life Uncut Discussion Group. It's actually the best.
I live there. My postcode is the Facebook group.
Go and join and can watch it all on YouTube. And you know the drill.
Tell your mum, tell your dad, tell your dog, tell your friends, and share the love because
We love love.